All right, all right. It's your boy DJ Vote Tron. It's time to activate. Who we got here today with me, man?
Yeah, you got Agar Secum, better known as Zuhudi Agar. Don't matter which one you say, I respond to both of them.
That's a fact.
But
That's
if you can't pronounce that name, just call me Brother Rock. It's all good.
word, word, word. So tell me a little bit about yourself, my guy, so we get to understanding where you come from, your background,
Oh,
your information, your street knowledge, the whole 9 yards.
so basically, I come from Brooklyn, man.
All
Bed
right.
Stuy, do or die. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to
Salute.
the heart of the sty.
Okay.
Um, I grew up right there on Marcy Avenue, right around the corner from the projects, Marcy Projects. So that's where I was. That's where I made my bones at.
Right,
Um,
right, right, right.
connecting with certain personalities. You know, and just learning and growing from the people that I connected with in that area. You know,
Right, right.
like I'm a I'm a I'm a '80s baby, so I was just sucking up everything around that time in the '80s that was going on in Brooklyn. And
Mm.
taking in and doing the knowledge to everything that I saw and going through and watching what other people was going through. So
Okay, okay. I'm from the Bronx, so back in the day when Chris said, and for those that don't know Chris, I'm talking about KRS-One.
fact,
I think he's like the number one artist. That's another discussion, though. But
yeah, definitely.
is it true that what he said, Brooklyn keeps on taking it?
Yeah, Brooklyn is known for that gun. Brooklyn is known for the robberies, man.
Right,
Um,
right.
going back to even the era of digging pockets, snatching diamonds out the jewelry store window. Brooklyn cats used to go to Midtown. That was their MO. They was gonna snatch a pocket, crash your jewelry store window, or grab a money bag off the truck or something like that. That was the MO before the drug era came in like 1986 or so. Everybody was into robbing, sticking up, pickpocketing. Those were the things that was, Brooklyn niggas was into,
Right,
you know.
right, right,
But
right.
definitely it was all under some type of larceny or robbery. That's what Brooklyn is really known for. That's, you know, old Brooklyn.
Oh, Brooklyn. That's a fact, man. That's a fact. So getting into it, we're gonna talk about boroughs later, next
Yeah,
episode.
definitely.
You know what I'm saying? The trials and tribulations of America.
But before we go into that, let me give people a little bit of how I got into, getting conscious and knowledge yourself and things of that nature. You know. So basically, in Brooklyn, you had all influence of knowledge yourself there, especially like in the 80s. You had the Muslims that, Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, you had the five percenters, you had the Israelites,
Peace, God.
you had all these different factions that was in Brooklyn that was giving knowledge itself, and they was bringing it to the people. And the brothers during that time in the 80s, you know what I'm saying, they was sucking that up because it was giving black people some type of self identity
Don't forget
that
about
we
the
can
Nuwabians.
definitely New Wapians, Dr. York, free Dr. York. um so all those things was giving black people self identity of who they were. And as a youngin growing up in Brooklyn, I was seeing all that, and I was just immersing myself into all that because I was just a kid that wanted to know a whole bunch of things. I always wanted to know. So going to these factions of different, places you can get knowledge at the time, I was I was dibbling and dabbling in everything. I was bouncing around New Wabian, five percenters, Nation of Islam,
Look,
Israelites. I was collecting it all and putting it all together and dissecting it. And and growing off of it and learning.
right, right,
And
right.
you know,
I
so
think I
that's
think I think I was on the same boat.
yeah,
And like I said, Dr. Malachi York is definitely the master teacher.
yeah, definitely a master. He's definitely one of the best master teachers. If we talk about Dr. Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, you know, Dr. Valentine, people like that that laid the foundation. He was there with all those people. But it's just, a lot of people don't give him, I'm going to say a lot of people don't give him his props for being who he is and his influence on the information of consciousness and on hip hop. If we talk about hip hop, he did a lot for hip hop, you know?
Right, right, right. So well, here's my thing though. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you think about, well, it deals with America because the subject is about the trials and tribulations of America. So
Yeah,
I have a lot of conscious teachers, right? A lot of
yeah,
conscious teachers that turn against each other, and it's like no unity at
yeah,
all, and
yeah.
it's all about views now. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that's the self-centered aspect of it. Back in the days when you had the old master teachers, the old elders, like the ones I mentioned, like Dr. Ben Henry Clark, Phil Valentine, Dr. York, Bobby Hemmett, people like them. They were more unified because they were in the active movement of uplifting and enlightening our people and knocking down those doors, you know what I'm saying, that our people had to go through to prosper and grow. So they had more of a unity thing going on and they worked together. Now it's all about they turned it into a pimp game, a hustle game now. Everybody wanna it's all about getting money, getting views, and competition with each other. The old elders or the old master teachers, they weren't in competition with each other. They
Right,
they worked with each other. But now it's all about self-centered shit, you know what I'm saying? You
right,
know,
right.
and so everybody about getting this, they turned it in. I'm gonna say it like this: the black consciousness thing has became like the past the pimp game, you
Mm,
know, and that's why so much division. That's why so much competition and showboating and flashy stuff going on because everybody's just for self, and it ain't about the people no more.
right.
It's about getting money and everybody doing their own thing.
Getting money, and that's my biggest problem with people. Now I'm gonna give you, let me introduce myself for people that don't know me. DJ Voltron from the Bronx. Um, Mixtape DJ. Um, I get into a whole bunch of stories about me later. I have a lot of problems with society. Um,
Mm,
I used to drink a lot of alcohol. I was an alcohol abuser, and I had
mm,
stopped. So, but one thing I never did, what I don't like that people do, from the rappers to the little ones or whatever, is walk around talking about
mm.
how much weed they smoke. Like that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm about to roll up.
yeah,
Like that.
yeah,
Me, my personal opinion, that's
yeah,
corny. That's corny.
yeah,
You want people to know you smoking weed. I don't understand like
yeah,
the way we move. Then you go to
yeah,
Instagram, you got people that got like $1,000 bottles, sitting on their cabinet. To me, that's celebrating failure. Alcohol kills you. It's a destruction. You understand? So
yeah,
if you don't believe, if you don't believe me, you'll learn when you get older, when you lose that liver, or you got
yeah,
gout,
yeah,
something
yeah.
of that
Or your
nature.
kidney, or your kidneys fail on you.
Right, right. So people walking around here thinking that I'm about to roll up, and then you got the women that thinking they're cute in the club, smoking on a hooker and all that.
Mm,
That's not attractive. Who wants to see that? I mean, there's
yeah,
bozos. Let me. I don't want to call no names or nothing. I'm trying to be a nice guy, but there's
yeah,
people that they're attracted to that, and this is the
yeah,
trials. This is trials and tribulations of America. I don't want to change the subject too much.
But the
Still on the
but the
subject.
you gotta check this out though. The reason why people attract to it is because these things that the alcohol, the drugs, the weed, even the crime and all that, they use these things to identify themselves.
Mm,
So we suffer from low self-esteem because of the 500 years of slavery and the oppression that our people still going through. And so we're searching for some type of identity because oppression takes away and beats us down and degrades us. You know what I'm saying? So through the drugs, the alcohol, even the violence, the aggression that we have on each other, it's all a tool to use to identify ourselves, to make ourselves feel great because we've been beaten down for so many years.
right,
You
right.
understand? So that's the reason why we gravitate to these things, because all these things is what fills our ego. It makes us feel great, but it's actually a falsified identity of self. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
not real, and we get caught up and we get addicted to it. We get addicted to the aggression that we project on each other, the drugs, the alcohol, the weed, the lean, drinking um cough syrup, all this stuff that they got our women out here selling their bodies and the money for the money and all this other stuff. All this stuff is a false identity of self, and it's addictive. So you see how we caught in a triangle of it's destructive, but at the same time it's addictive and it makes us feel good. So we caught in like a prison that we like to be in. We could say, I'm gonna say it
Right.
like that. They got us caught in a prison that we're happy to be in because it feels good. It feels good to be in this
I said
prison.
celebrating failure. We don't know
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
coming and going.
yeah. So your analogy of saying celebrating failure, that failure that we're celebrating, we don't even know we don't even know that because it feels good that we're celebrating it, because the things that we celebrated with makes stimulates our ego and makes us feel good.
Right, right.
And that comes from um when you're dealing with the brain, a chemical called dopamine. So dopamine
Mm,
is something that the brain produces and it stimulates you.
right,
So the weed, the drugs, the alcohol, the crime, the aggression produces a certain amount of dopamine that can make us feel good, and it becomes addicted. So you hear the word dopamine.
right,
It's
right,
funny that they call it dopamine because dope is something on the street that we get addicted to. So the dopamine in your brain is the same thing, something that you get addicted to, and you got to have it. You got to do it.
right.
And when
Exactly.
and when something gets bored, like when you get bored with something, that means the brain is producing a low level of dopamine. And
Mm-hmm.
so and so you got to take it up a notch and do something else that produces more dopamine, that stimulates your high and your desire,
With all
and
that
it
said,
becomes addictive.
also the chemicals that they put in our food.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many feminine men walking
Mm,
around, and I don't want to call nobody out, but you
mm,
see men walking with purses and
yeah.
skirts. See the
Mm.
food. What is it called? I don't want to give the wrong chemical. I think it's saltapy that they put in the
Um
food. It,
that
it
produ- that produces the estrogen in men.
yeah, it puts the
That what you
estrogen in men, correct, and the
Yeah.
testosterone into women.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It reverses.
so this is
Yeah,
why
these
people give up on their kids and say,
yeah.
oh my God, my son is gay," and they give
Yeah.
up and they take them to the rapist,
Yeah.
the psychologist, like the therapist or whatever, right? It's
Yeah.
not that you have to just build up their vitamins, the vitamin D, their zinc.
Mm,
Now they got sea moss and and Shilla G and things
yeah.
of that nature. And that's another story I want to talk about.
Yeah.
People that think they know the knowledge. Oh, sea moss, black
Yeah.
sea.
Well,
It's been around since like 19. Even before then. It's a
yeah.
medicine, but people are walking around acting like they're conscious, and they're
Mm,
walking around like they have the knowledge of these medicines.
Yeah.
these herbal medicines. And what are you trying to do? You trying to be cool, or are you trying to help people? That's my
Yeah.
biggest problem. Stop walking around out nowhere. You was just a drug dealer. You was a killer. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Now you're a conscious brother that's talking all this different knowledge, which is cool if you want to be
Yeah.
conscious, but be true to yourself. Now, all of a
The
sudden,
first
everybody,
that's the first
everybody,
thing. That's the
you know,
first thing they got to learn.
you know what? It's crazy. You're right. And so I seem like a dancer. You know what I'm saying? Going to try to tell me and school me on something like, oh, you
Mm,
just shake your ass in the club. What are you talking
yeah.
about? You know what I'm saying? You all of a
Yeah.
sudden you know what I mean? You Dr. Sebi?
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. So get into it like a little deeper. You know what I'm saying? I
Uh.
don't want to say this is the trials and tribulations, but this is what we doing. This is what we doing out here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh. So when we go back, you was talking about the chemical that they put in food. One of the chemicals is called phytoestrogen. It's a
Oh,
yeah, it's a chemical that they put in food, vegetables and things of that nature, and that produces a lot of estrogen
mm,
in men. A lot of foods produce estrogen because, believe it or not, when we talk about fruit, vegetables, when we talk about plants, vegetation, and things of that nature, it comes in the duality of masculine and feminine. You understand?
right.
So sometimes we're eating a lot of foods or vegetables um, that's feminine, that produces the estrogen. That's what
Right.
they pushing. Sometimes they're ejecting it inside of the food, you know, and this is what's going on, and it's reversing the chemical imbalancement in people, especially with
Mm,
men and women. You understand? A lot of that has to do not just with the food we're eating, but the environment that we're living in.
right.
So the hostile environment that the global elite creates, which helps men and women switch roles. So if you got a lot of men that's out on the street dying, on drugs, lack of jobs, you know, going to jail, things of that nature, then there ain't no men in the house. There ain't no men to play their position. And so
Right. Right.
the woman has to play both positions, and most
Mm,
likely she has to go out there and she has to play the man position. And
absolutely.
when she has to play the position, that imbalances her body, the hormones in her body, because now instead of her being in an environment that can allow her to produce estrogen and her to be a woman, now she's done been put in an environment that she has to tap into the
Her
masculine side
masculinity.
of.
Right.
Yeah. And so
Exactly.
this is why you see the women that's so aggressive now. Everything with them is aggressive. They're jumping in men's face. They even trying to play the men. A lot of lesbianism, dykeism, bulldaggers, things of that nature. Because through the food and through the environment, they're reversing the roles. You understand? And they're turning men into women and women into men, and they need that. That's part of their agenda. So when they plan their attack, we're confused about what role we're playing. You
Okay,
understand? If a
let me back it up. When you
uh
say they, so some people don't understand because they're not knowledgeable yet. They're learning. They try to
mm,
they try to get the information. Who is
yeah.
they?
When I talk about they, I'm just talking about the people that's in position and power that can influence these things, the subunits in society, the banking system, the communication system, the food system, the water system, the government, um, all the subunits that make up the society that we live on. I'm talking about those people that have that power and influence that can
What
that
would
can
you label? Not to cut you off. What would you label them? Like
um a
names.
lot of a lot of people got many different names for them. Some people say the Illuminati. Um, there's many different organizations and groups out there that they fall under. You understand? I call them the global elite because that's what they are.
Oh,
They're the global elite that's in
Right.
position and power that can influence, you know, the subunits of society. You
Would you think?
understand?
Would you think some of them like shapeshifters or aliens or time
Um,
travelers?
when you talk about the global elite being shapeshifters or time traveling, um, my knowledge that we're all time traveling. And the reason why I say that is if you look at what year you was born in, like I was born in 72, right? And
Hmm.
right now I'm talking to you in 2024. I traveled. You understand? I probably didn't do it at light speed like these scientists that have the tech that create the technology and can open up certain wormholes that can warp space and time, and time and
Hmm.
move at a certain speed at light. But we do it, but we just do it on a slow caliber. You
Hmm.
understand? So we can all time travel. They can just do it a little bit faster because they have the technology and the ability through this technology to do so.
Right.
The shape shifting thing comes from what's inside their DNA. A lot of these global elites, these millionaire and billionaires, and some are even trillionaires, these people that you see in their DNA, they are connected with outer world beings or beings that's outside this time and space. And they use them as a vector or vessel to move in this time and space. So when we're looking at Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, people like that, they look like they're human, but their body can be utilized by a certain spirit from a
Mm,
certain realm and dimension, you
mm,
know, because they can open up portals to the lower realm of demonic spirits and allow their bodies to be utilized. Just like people can open up their bodies through ritual and ceremony and allow good spirits to take over their bodies. The same thing that the global elite is doing. They're in tune with the dark force or the Luciferian force, or what's in the Bible they call them falling angels and things, or Nephilim. They're in
mhm,
tune with these beings that's disagreeable and chaotic. And their whole thing is to come into this realm to cause chaos and mayhem and destruction and
mm,
death. And they deal with, hierarchy, control, and dominance and aggression. This is all their nature of who they are because of the vibration that they're on. They're beings of a lesser light. And when you talk about these lesser light beings, um they um they deal with what we call six ether or the negative force, which
right,
is death, mayhem, chaos, so forth. You
right,
understand? And that's their agenda, to break down this timeline that we're living in,
right,
to
right.
control it and break it down. You
To change
understand?
the subject a little bit because we're kind of getting off the
Mm,
American title. That would be
yeah.
like another discussion, as far as
Uh-huh.
the aliens and the
Yeah.
Nephilim and all of that.
Yeah.
I want to get back to the
But
food
these
thing.
but really these things, these beings that I'm talking about, they contribute to American problems, the
Absolutely,
problems that go
absolutely,
on in America. So
right.
this is the reason why we're talking about them. And we probably digress, but I just want to let people know that these beings of a lesser light that that cause chaos and mayhem, they are the ones that's contributing to the state of the breakdown of
You're
America and all the
absolutely right.
problems.
You're absolutely right. They are definitely doing that. Getting back to the food that before it gets off
Mm,
because I'm a big guy. I like to eat and all
mm.
that. Do you know about 3D printing food?
3D printing food.
Yeah, they make pizzas, hamburgers. Some of the food that we ate is 3D
Mm.
printed food. And they started this. I did my research. I want to
Well,
say,
are you talking about like the modified GMO foods that they're um digging deep into the molecules of the food and they're transforming it into other things?
yeah, the vegan, all this new vegan food and
Yeah, 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 yeah,
going on.
yeah.
Yeah,
That all
you got
that all
pizza,
comes from
3D printing, and all these different foods that all of a sudden, I mean, it's been around for years.
yeah.
I would say like at least
It
15
started with
years.
the GMO. Yeah, it started with the GMO and them modifying the food that we're eating. It
how do you
started with
feel
that.
about that? This is the same food that make house. This is the same thing, computer, the machine that build
Mm.
houses and
Yeah,
3D printing guns and
yeah,
the whole 9 yards. Now you eating food that you don't
yeah,
even know, um, like chicken and everything else, pizza
yeah,
and then you got these fake burgers and these
yeah,
they
yeah,
say
yeah, yeah,
grass,
yeah,
not grass fed.
yeah,
What's it called? Plant based.
yeah, yeah.
And is it really plant based? I mean, like so much
Mm-hmm.
food is getting recalled right now. So
Yeah,
much food is telling us that it's giving out cancer.
yeah,
It's incredible,
yeah, yeah,
incredible. I just want to bring that issue up, but
yeah.
the
But
real
that's they have the power. This is when we start dealing with these. Another thing, these disagreeable beings are they are what I call technocrat sorcerers, because they create the technology because they have the power and the know-how to do that now. And with this technology, instead of using it for good to help advance human beings and take them to the next level of consciousness, they're using it to keep us in a certain lipo lockdown or imprisonment. So when
mm,
you can control a people food and what they eat, you know, that's definitely a part of that agenda and problem that we have in America, especially with the obesity and things that's going on, people getting sick,
right,
cancer and high blood pressure and diabetes and things of that nature. All that plays a part, of them modifying our food. Because if they can control that, they can control how we evolve and grow. Because the food we eat is connected to the electromagnetic force that keeps our body alive.
mm,
Because food is nothing but energy. The body breaks the food down into energy, and that energy connects with the electromagnetic frequency of our bio energy that we have around us, which they call an aura or a macabre or our light body. And if we eating the right light vibrational food, it can help our light body advance and grow. If we're
mm,
not, and if they got the technology to alter it and modify it, then it can keep us on a low vibratorial frequency that they need us on, that they can take advantage of us on.
right,
So, so
right.
that's the thing with the food.
All right. So now I'm going to
So,
get into racism
mm,
of America. Um,
mm,
it's a lot to talk about. Sundown towns. We're not allowed to go in certain areas.
mm,
2024.
yeah,
There's a couple of states I know, like West Virginia,
yeah,
um, Viger, Texas,
yeah.
um, Arkansas. I think it's Arkansas,
Arkansas,
even
yeah,
Maryland. I mean, the
yeah.
list goes
Maryland,
on.
Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama. We got a
Absolutely.
whole, we got a whole bunch of them everywhere.
What's that goal they was going to bring back in Mississippi? They was talking bringing that
Si-
law back.
Well, shit. Some of them never really even got rid of the law of if they see a black person, they can lynch them or do whatever.
Right.
Some of
What's
these,
what's that
some
guy's
of these.
name? He's a devil worshiper.
Which one?
I forgot the dude's name. I apologize. But he's a he's gonna bring his law back. I just seen it. I just seen it the other day on TV.
Yeah.
The Jim Crow law. My fault.
Oh,
Jim
Jim
Crow.
Crow. Oh,
Yeah, he's
Jim
talking about
Crow
bringing
laws. Yeah,
in
yeah,
2024. If you look it
yeah,
up, he's talking about bringing that law back in
yeah.
Mississippi.
In Mississippi, the Jim Crow. Well,
2024.
that well, those laws of Jim Crow and all that. Those was Christian codes, Christian laws. Really, they really didn't go nowhere. You know, Jim Crow laws is still around. They just morphed into other names and you know things of that nature. But the Jim
Right.
Crow laws really didn't go nowhere. But when we talk about the sundown towns, to me, that's really based on real estate. And the reason why I say it's based on real estate because you have certain white people that don't want to live with blacks because of the racism that they have inside them and the racist perspective that they have of black people. and so they just don't want to be around us. And
So,
so they come together and they create these sundown laws. You understand? To keep, it's like a way of blackballing black people from coming in their area. You know, like what they do, what they call that redlining. Redlining is another aspect of that. You know, and that's what I think these sundown towns is really bringing back. That they're bringing back, to keep certain blacks out their neighborhood, because to keep the value and the property of their neighborhoods up and prospering and growing, they they don't want us in them, and so they come together with this hate, these hate crimes of, if they see a black person in a certain time in their neighborhood, they're gonna do something to them. That's another way of keeping black people out your neighborhood.
right. That's
So
why
when we
we have
talk about
the police
police
brutality.
brutality,
It's still going on.
yeah.
It's still
Do you
going on.
know? Do you know? The sundown laws came from not just the um Black Crow laws that they had back in days, and Reconstruction, where they was creating certain fine lines that black people, free Negroes, couldn't go at.
Hold
You
on. So
understand that? Or
you say they really got sundown town laws? Like in the
yeah,
books? It's in the
yeah,
books. Like
yeah. They got
we can't move to the
they
area like it's against the law.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why, yeah, it's against the law. These white people come together, and this is how they do it to keep black people out of their neighborhood. It's just like, it's another form of like redlining. You understand? But they work together as a community to keep black people out of their community. You
Wow.
understand? And that started, like you said, with the Jim Crow laws, but it also came from the England poor laws.
Mm,
The England poor laws, it was in England, where all the lower class poor people couldn't go in certain rich neighborhoods. And so they called it the England poor laws. So this is the same thing with the sundown towns. It's just now in England, it was projected towards poor white people that they didn't want inside their neighborhoods,
mm.
and now they just use the same analogy against black people.
How you spell that? England what? Poor law?
England, England, like the place England,
Yeah,
or
poor.
Britain, poor law, LAW.
Got you. I got you.
You understand? And that started, and that. So what I'm really saying, that these sundown towns and what they doing to keep black people out of their neighborhoods is the same thing that they was doing in Europe and England to the poor whites.
Mm.
The aristocrats, people was doing that.
Wow.
All
Okay,
right.
okay.
So you understand, and that was during the Tudor era. The Tudors were a monarchy, white monarchy that ruled in Britain. They were a royal family. This was during the 1587 to 1598, the Tudor era. They had the England poor laws, and they was keeping the lower class whites out of their neighborhood. And
Oh,
then it also, that also connected with the welfare states. You heard about the welfare states.
right. Right.
That's another aspect of that, because during the Great Depression, when the stock market fell
Right.
and the businesses and all that was losing money, um, the welfare states had to be put into a position which was supposed to be there to help people, but actually it was a Trojan horse to take advantage of people. And
Mm,
all this started during the Great Depression.
right.
You understand?
Right.
So it's a lot of things when you talk about these sundown towns. Um, you got to connect with things like the welfare state, the Great Depression, and the Tudor era of 1587 to 1598, and
Mm,
the England poor laws. Those are all connected. Of when we talking about land and dividing land and keeping certain people out of certain areas. All this stuff. This was what's going on. You know. back then.
Right. Me as a
You know.
military man, right?
Huh?
You know, me as a military man,
Yeah.
you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, me as a military man, the National Guard, I feel like it's a smack in the face that we still have police brutality. I'm
Yeah.
protecting a country that still, don't like us and still want to, belittle us, talk bad about us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Police brutality, people get happy
Yeah.
because it goes away and it doesn't go away. Something
No.
happens, it disappears, and then people forget about it till
Yeah.
it touches home.
Yeah.
The reason I'm stating this is I think it's a serious problem, and I think there should be some laws that should be, they should implement some laws against this type of situation. We have brothers, we have sisters, we have children. They point guns at our children. They're killing, our wives or our mothers, like our
Mm.
fathers, and
Yeah.
these officers should not be allowed on the force.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the reason they're doing this because they're racist. You
Yeah.
understand? And we allow. I don't want to say we allow. It's just people turning back. Okay, it's been a while for one police brutality, then something else happens and people get routed up. They want to march, and everything else.
Yeah.
It got to
Yeah.
the point where people just got tired of marching.
Yeah.
It's just like a natural thing now, and it shouldn't be like that because one day, God forbid, you're riding down the road with your family, or I'm riding the road, or anybody that's listening, that's a
Yeah.
minority, is riding down the road, and you get pulled over, and then they murder somebody in your family because these white cops, most
Yeah.
more likely, it could be black cops, just trigger
Yeah.
happy, and I'm not going to keep it 100. Not all the cops is bad,
No.
but they have families too. But at the end of the day, there should be more rules implemented. There should be more screening for these
Yeah.
cops before they put them on the road. I think
Yeah.
that's a very, very, I think it's a serious situation, man, that needs to be handled. And like I said, I'm a military veteran. Um,
Yeah.
I didn't do no hard type of war,
Mm.
little situations, and you know, we're here, we're protecting the country, right?
Yeah.
And then you have a nerve to just attack us. I really, my perspective of America is like before, it's like fuck America, but now
Yeah. Yeah.
as I grown up, I don't let the anger get the best of me. It's like they got to get this right.
Yeah.
They got to get this right for us to continue to,
Yeah.
there's a lot of issues in America, but we have to get it right.
Mm.
For me to be more bicentennial and, feel like I'm American, I don't feel like I'm American. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Things still go on in our country. And
Yeah.
moving on, I don't know if you want to say anything about the police brutality.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when we talk about police brutality, right? Wait up, because I got something I wanna read. When we talking about police brutality on so-called African Americans or black people or Negro or colored people, um, black indigenous. I'm gonna say indigenous people because I don't really like to use those words like black or African or colored or Negro
Right.
because that's what we are. We are the indigenous people of this land. We're the ones that were here first. You understand? And we were building and advancing and growing on all levels in society way before they got here. The European colonizers got here. We were doing agriculture. We had a government. We had economics. Um, we knew about math, science, engineering, medicine, botany of dealing with plants and things of that nature. So we already had this thing popping and colonized and advancing and growing in our tribal societies, way before they got here. We allowed them over here to and 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 to try to live together and grow and prosper together on certain levels, but because of their greed, they didn't want that. They wanted to take over everything. That's part of the colonizing thing, and what they call the age of discovery. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or what they call manifest destiny. This is the reason why they did what they did. But to get back to what I was saying, the black man and black woman, and I'm gonna use that term loosely, in the United States corporation, because that's what it is. It's a corporation. It don't really have no position and is looked at as a lower class citizen that don't have no rights. So really, in the United States, black people are nothing but outlaws. That's
Mm,
our status. We're outlaws to them, or we're just people that just ain't got no rights and deserve to be treated like animals because of the titles that we identify ourselves that they gave us, and that was all part of the scheme of being African, black, Negro, colored, and things of that nature. You understand? And because we call ourselves that and identify with it, this is the reason why they can shoot us down, because all these titles that they gave us put us in a position in the United States corporation to be lower class citizens that don't have no rights. You understand? And
speaking
that goes, go ahead.
speaking on lower class citizens, it seemed like we're still lower class citizens as the migrants cross the border and they get
Mm,
more privileges than us.
yeah,
You know, you
yeah.
know,
That's part of the immigration system is part of that. It's to push the so-called African man down, way down at the totem pole of society. So everybody's standing on our back, all the immigrants that's coming over here, you know, and they're standing on our back when we're the indigenous people. This is our home, and they're just coming in and they're standing on our back, walking all over us to get to the top. You understand? This is another way how they're keeping us oppressed and keeping us down because, like you said, it's the immigrants that's getting all the money benefits to get businesses, houses, land, to open up banks, to build businesses, to send their kids to school. They're getting all this. They're getting the job position because a lot of them come over here on a work visa, and that work visa puts them in a position to get a job. Some of them come on a certain visa that they call there's different type of visas. A lot of them come on a business visa where the government gives them certain benefits so they can start a business. So this is all putting the black man and the black woman further down on the economic totem pole and in society. So your Indians, your Africans, your Arabs, all these people that's coming over here that's getting these benefits, they're getting them and they're using them to rise above us and stomp on our backs and stomp on us. So the black man and black woman is hard. It makes it harder for them to feed their family, to get a job, to open up a business,
right.
to develop any kind of wealth for themselves because of the status that we're in. Do you know a lot of these immigrants that come over here? Do you know what they identify as? They identify as white people. So
Wow.
the Indian people, the African people, the Haitian people, Puerto Ricans, they come over here and they take the status as being white so they can have certain privileges.
Mm,
So when we talk about color, we can't get caught up in the color game because you got a person that's coming from Africa and he's identifying when he come over here as being white. And so he's going to get certain privileges and certain opportunities. You
mm,
understand? This is how the game is being played.
right, right, right.
And so this is the reason they can shoot us, beat us, lock us up, and do all this stuff to us because the black man in America, or I should say in the United States corporation, is a lower class citizen. You
Wow.
know.
And that's the problem, man. Like, is there any
You know.
solution that comes to mind to you? Any type
Yeah,
of solution?
Yeah, it's definitely a solution. We got to go back to, to the to our elders, like what Marcus Garvey was talking about. Booker T. Washington, you know, these people, they was talking about do for self, and coming together and do for self and start, uniting and creating wealth amongst us by pulling our resource, and we can open up our own businesses,
Speaking of
buy our
uniting,
own land. Yeah.
not to cut you off,
Mm,
it seems like, and I don't want to be the devil's advocate, but
mm,
seems like we'll never be able to unite. They got us so separated through gangs, religion,
mm,
color of our skin,
mm,
um, house nigga, street nigga.
yeah.
We're just so separated. We don't know if we coming and going. So
Mm,
I always say I'm of the black race, but I
mm,
cannot say my people because these are the same people who try to kill me. You know what
mm,
I'm saying?
mm,
Sleep with my wife or
yeah.
know, anything. You know what I'm saying? Rob me. Anything.
Yeah.
So who are these
Wh-
people that we're dealing with?
Yeah, but you know what? There are blacks that are uniting. They're not talk. We come together and we do business with each other. We do it. It's happening now. It's just not happening on a grand scale. You
That's what
understand?
we need. We need. That's what we definitely need. Is a
Yeah,
scale.
we need it to happen on a grand scale, but it's happening slowly but surely. And those blacks that are, like how you said, that rob you and try to kill you, and the things of that nature, that they do crimes against their own people. I mean, we know what that is. That's part of the sickness that these colonizers has put in them, that has programmed them with, and that's through oppression. The only reason our own people want to rob and kill us is because of this economic oppression that white supremacy have on us, and so it causes that. Who else are we going to rob and steal and kill from? We're going to do it to each other. We're going to do it in our communities and so forth, because you know what? The white man is way far away from us. They're living way up in the hills and Beverly Hills in the mountains with gated communities and security and all that other stuff. You understand? We can't really get to them. You understand? And the ones that we
Right.
could get to, they ain't got nothing. They poor white trash. They on the same level as we on. You
Right.
understand? So they do this and they create this oppression so that we do genocide each other, you know? And while they watch, and while they stand back and watch and make money off of it.
Okay.
So it's all part of their strategy of what they do, and it's messed up, that a lot of brothers and sisters can't see that they're being manipulated for, black on black crime or black genocide. But
Speaking of black
that's what.
genocide, they even use our black women and turn against us and feel as though we got to foot the bill, we got to pay for everything. We've added
Mm,
figures in the relationship. They're
yeah,
crying. They're making this like the state of the norm now.
yeah.
Like that the man has to provide and pay for everything, and
Mm,
it's like if you don't do that, you're a lame, you're a
yeah,
bum.
yeah.
So there's a lot of things going on. And speaking of genocide, it seemed like now what do we do with the Civil War? Because they about to genocide each other over the immigrants. You
Mm,
got one side, down there in Texas, it's like putting up wire fences. It's like, yo, we tired of this. You know,
yeah,
and you got the other side is like, yo, do what I tell you to do. Power tripping. I'm talking about Biden and them. And
yeah.
right now it's like they're having a war with each other. What do we do? Do we
Mm,
step aside? Do we join? Or we let them just go ahead and destroy each other? But it still affects us because we're all Americans.
yeah,
You understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
This makes this thing worse, as far as living in America as a black man. Now we got
yeah.
migrants is taking over the land, they're taking over our shelters, for the
Mm,
veterans, and
yeah,
they're really destroying the black race right now. It's cool you want to come in this country, but do it the right way. That's my,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
perspective.
but check it out. This is what now. Here's the other flip side of this whole immigration thing of people coming over here. They think that they're coming over here for opportunity and all that other stuff. The naturalization of getting into America and like how you say doing it the right way is all just another system of slavery. Because these people that come over here, they're just going to get caught up in in America's slavery system,
Right,
and so they can be taxed, so they can be economically taken advantage of. But they don't care because of where they came from was totally oppressed and broken down, and it wasn't no jobs and things of that nature. And so they want to come to the land of so-called milk and honey, which is America. You understand?
right,
And that's all based on you know, why they're coming over here. But they don't know there's a trick to that. And that trick is once you get your green card and get nationalized, now you're a citizen and you're a certain citizen that America can enslave and take advantage of you through her labor system.
right,
You understand? So that's the flip side of that. So all the immigrants that's rushing over here to get a green card and all that other stuff and become legal, you're only becoming legal to America's military industrial prison system.
right, right. So look, we're going to tie it up soon. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? I want to talk about, we got like 9 minutes. I want to talk
mm,
about solutions.
mm,
Solutions. So here's my solution, right?
mm,
If I was the president,
mm,
I would give black people their reparations and
mm,
see how they act then.
mm,
That's the first thing I would do. Second
mm,
thing, you got the immigrants over here, right?
mm,
They want their citizenship, right?
mm,
We're about to go to war. I'm taking all the male immigrants and sending them over there in the army. They get a uniform, they get
mm,
a weapon, they
mm,
fight for the country, they fight for their citizenship. You want to be
mm,
America so bad, go
mm.
over there and help us with the war. Because like
Yeah.
this 3 innocent children, no, they're young. I think it was one adult around our
Mm,
age, but it was it
mm.
was, it was a young girl
Yeah.
and it was a young guy and I think it was an older gentleman. They got
Yeah.
murdered over there. On, I think it's Iraq or they was at a military base outside
Yeah.
Iraq or Syria. Now they was
Mm,
all, it doesn't matter they're minorities or not, but it's funny how they was all black, and they all got murdered.
yeah.
But in black or white, America, 17-year-old, 18-year-olds going to war when they can't live
Yeah.
their life, and you go on to war for a country that I don't understand. Like, take the migrants,
Mm,
send them over there, the male migrants. You want
mm,
to be in this country,
mm,
you fight for our country, then you fight
mm.
for your citizenship. Show
Yeah.
your loyalty.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. And as far as reparations, give
Mm,
the black people all their money, whatever, and
yeah.
you straighten out everything. Sundown towns. You don't have to be no separation. If you want to be separated, maybe we'll do
Mm,
that. We'll have separation areas, and we'll have areas that's keep people together.
yeah.
The crime control. You know, it's always gonna be crime. There's nothing you can do about it. As long as there's drugs and alcohol, there's always gonna
Yeah.
be crime. So there's no solution. That's gonna just be until the AI take over. Once the AI robot take over, then it won't
Yeah.
be no more crime because they're gonna be too scared to do a crime with them guys. You
Oh
know what
no,
I'm saying?
it's gonna be a crime. It's still gonna be a crime against humanity.
Right.
Once
So what
they
would you?
once they once they put that in effect, once the AI and all that shit, that's gonna be the biggest crime on humanity because that's how they're gonna lock everybody down. Really now, you
Right.
know,
Right. So what would you be your solution as we tie it up?
I just got a simple solution. Just a simple, and it just might just sound cliche-ish, but the solution is that we get back to us and get back into the things that our ancestors left for us. Because that blueprint that they left is what made them great. I think we fell so far from ourselves when we just lost identity who we are and where we came from, and we just tried to be the oppressor
Mm,
and live in his world, his matrix, and everything that his nature, everything that he do, or
right.
So I just think the solution is to get back to us, and when we get back to us, everything's gonna fall into place economically, socially, politically, spiritually. Everything will get back to where, and then the universe will work with us. Because once we follow that blueprint that our ancestors left for us, then you know the universe is gonna open up and put everything where it's supposed to be for us. But
Facts.
as long as we're going, long as we're lost with our identity of who we are, trying to be the oppressor, we ain't going. The universe gonna stay closed. We're gonna stay divided. We're gonna stay killing each other. We're gonna stay broke. We're gonna stay all that. All those things that you just said is gonna keep on happening.
Right, right,
It's just nobody wants to be they self. Nobody wants to be. If we African, nobody wants to be African. Everybody
right.
want to be something else.
Oh, that's another discussion.
Hmm.
So, we'll talk about that on the next episode, but I'm gonna bring it up
Hmm.
before we get off here. I noticed that, as I'm seeing, a lot of Afro Americans is moving to Africa, but they're moving
Hmm.
back to America because the African is treating them bad as
Yeah,
far as, village prices and American
yeah,
prices, they're overcharging and the whole
yeah.
9 yards. So I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's all
That,
around the world
that's
situation.
another. That's another division. That's another divide and conquer between the Africans in the motherland and us over here.
Right.
It's just another divide and conquer because you know what? They don't like us neither. Some of them come over here. They really don't like us. They really don't want to even be affiliated with us.
I know.
Some of them, and we got our ego of being over here around, the white supremacists. We look down on them. We make fun of them. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? So it's just another method of divide and conquer.
Right.
You understand?
Well, I appreciate you getting up here on this
No doubt,
platform.
man.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, man.
Let them know your Instagram. They can check you out.
Um, my Instagram, well, I got my Facebook. Um, is Rocky Lindsay. You can get me on there. Facebook. My Instagram is Lindsay Rocky. Um, and those are two things that I really be on. If you want to get at me, um, sometimes I do my own little I got my own little forum called the Society of the Unk Netzaru, where I
Mm,
just be breaking down a lot of information and just dropping the jewels and trying to enlighten people. You know,
right.
I'm trying to put some books together. I'm trying to write some stuff from all the research and the things that I have done.
You've been
So
research for years, brother. Trust me.
yeah,
We went to
I've
your
been
class.
doing this for
You
I've
know,
been doing this for a real long time, man. You was there with me, man.
Second, yeah, I was in the classes with you. Yeah,
Yeah, so
we was going hard.
we was going
It's
hard.
like thank you for like answering my questions and hopefully
We
like
doing we got
Ron.
and we got this popping. So this is
Right, right,
just this
right.
is just the start. This is just the start. So
Get into it. So
yeah.
anybody want to join DJ Voltron BX at
Mm,
Instagram? Where to get at me.
mm.
Voltronics, the clothing line. Yeah, anything else you want to promote besides the
Oh,
book?
and I do music too. So just look out because
Your music
I'm trying to write some books and I'm trying to put some music out. It's on another level.
mixtape.
So
We're
all
gonna
yeah,
discuss
mix
about
say all.
the music game too. We definitely
Oh,
gonna
we
touch
gonna get yeah, we gonna definitely touch about that
it
because
all, man.
the state of hip hop is just is another American problem, right?
Word, man.
So
So,
we gotta try to clean that up.
that's a fact. So look, we're gonna get at you. I appreciate everybody pulled up, checking us out. You know what I mean? With the God Sikkim, we covered a lot of topics. I hope y'all like enjoy or learn something. And we actually well, me as a devil advocate, I put some of my things that I didn't like, that's involved with America.
Mhm.
So, With that said, man, peace, love, and happiness. And we off
Peace.
this. Salute.
We out. Salute.